You haven't even finished picking up the pieces of your broken heart, and your avoidant ex is already in a new relationship. They're getting validation from someone new, and they appear to be all in. It feels soul crushing. It feels like you never even mattered, and you're wondering, was anything ever even real? Because just a short time ago, they were telling you that nobody ever made them feel the way that you do, that they were so incredibly lucky to have you. And then bam, they're telling you things like they can't give you what you need, and they're just not ready for a relationship right now, and they need time and space to work on themselves. But lo and behold, they are immediately back on the dating apps. They are immediately in a new relationship and committing to someone else when they struggled to commit to you. And it makes it feel like it is a rejection of you, that you weren't good enough, that something was wrong with you, or you did something wrong. But that is not the case. One of the avoidant's favorite ways to cope with a breakup is to not cope with it at all, to not process the emotions, to not reflect on it, to distract themselves. And an easy way to distract themselves is to hop into a new relationship. The relationship itself is a distraction. It keeps them occupied so they don't have to face and process the painful emotions of the breakup, and they don't have to face the fact that they hurt you. Also, this is a deeply insecure person that relies on external validation to feel better about themselves. They don't know how to internally validate themselves. So the attention that they're getting from a new partner gives them that validation that they crave and helps them feel better, gives them that dopamine, the feel-good hormone that goes off in the brain, and helps them numb any pain that they don't want to face. The reasons for this all stem back to this person's childhood. This is a person that received consistent childhood emotional neglect. They were not given the love, the nurturing, the attention and affection in the way that they needed from their parents or caretakers. In addition to that, their feelings were routinely dismissed and rejected. If they had a negative emotion, it was shot down. The end result is a person that fears being vulnerable because they learned that if you rely on anybody for your emotional needs, such as your parents, you're going to get rejected, disappointed, and perhaps even abandoned. And they personalize the lack of love and affection. It must have been something wrong with them. They must be defective and unlovable. So, as a way to protect themselves, they put up walls around their heart and they keep their partner at an emotional arm's length. Because their subconscious fear is, if I let down my walls and I let my partner in, my partner's going to figure out that I'm not lovable, that I am defective, and I'm going to get rejected and abandoned. So, this causes them to get specifically triggered by healthy relationship behaviors. Consistent, emotionally available, loving partners are terrifying to them because emotional intimacy naturally builds with a good, loving partner. And the avoidant, they feel like they're not good enough for this person. So they protect themselves by pushing this person away. Now, on the flip side, typically when they jump into a new relationship, they go to a partner that soothes their attachment wounds, which means a partner that is emotionally unavailable, a partner with walls up, maybe another avoidant, or perhaps even a narcissist, because there's no threat of emotional intimacy in this relationship. So it's easy for the avoidant to feel safe. It's a surface level relationship with surface level validation. Their partner has their walls up, they have their walls up. They're not vulnerable with each other. It feels safe. But with you were special. You were making them feel things, and that terrified them because the deep fear is, ooh, I'm going to love this person too much, let down my walls, and I'm going to get rejected and abandoned. So they pushed you away to preserve themselves because they felt that they weren't good enough for you. But being on the receiving end, it feels like you weren't good enough for them, that you meant nothing to them. The avoidant is motivated out of fear. It is fear that drives their behavior. Fear that stems from a low self-esteem and a lack of self-worth. And this fear can cause them to behave in ways that appear to be different than the actual motivating factors underneath. It feels like they're rejecting you. It feels like you meant nothing. It feels like you weren't special. But in reality, these behaviors are because you were special, because you were loving, and because they felt like you were too good for them. However, avoidants avoid. No one ever showed them how to process emotions. So when they exit and run from a relationship, they deactivate. They take their feelings for their partner, they suppress them and bury them. They don't allow themselves to access their own feelings. That's how they've learned to keep safe. And they also avoid self-reflection to avoid provoking that deep core wound of shame and defectiveness. So they're often unaware of why they feel the urge to run from good partners, and they're unaware of why they feel the urge to jump into relationships with unhealthy, emotionally unavailable partners. This lack of self-awareness tends to keep this cycle going where they jump from one relationship to the other. The relationship with the emotionally unavailable partner feels safe, but ends up being unfulfilling. And then they seek a deeper connection because deep down they want that love and connection. But when they get it, when they find that partner that is emotionally available and special, it triggers their fears and they push that one away and then go find another emotionally unavailable partner. And the cycle continues until the avoidant self-reflects, takes accountability, and works to heal on their attachment wounds. But no, it doesn't mean you did anything wrong. It just means that this is a very insecure person that gets triggered by healthy relationship behaviors.